Through the first 21 races of 2021, Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing have won 16 times. During this time, Hendrick Motorsports has become the most winningest team in NASCAR history, and Joe Gibbs is closing in on second all-time as well. The dominance of these two teams isn't just this year. If you wanted to go look back and try and find the last race none of the 4 cars from either teams finished top 5, you'd have to go all the way back to the 2020 Brickyard 400, where Kyle Busch got 6th. And to find the last time they all finished outside the top 10, you have to go all the way back to the 2017 Coke 0400, where the best car, Jimmie Johnson, finished 12th. Between now and the making of this video, that is a streak of 148 consecutive races. And with current demographics, this pace isn't slowing down. So how did we get to this point? How did we get to the domination of these two juggernauts in the sport? Well, let's go back to the beginning. All the way back to 1984. The story of Hendrick Motorsports is well known. Upstart team owner Rick Hendrick hires Jeffrey Bodine, team struggles, is on the border of shutting down, but they miraculously win Martinsville and keep going for the rest of 1984. What isn't talked about much is how innovative Rick Hendrick was from this point forward. Starting in 1986, Rick entered a second car for a few races. Not something completely abnormal, but in a time where the top 20 in points were made up of 19 independent teams, it was a noticeable difference. The only other team running multiple cars was legendary Junior Johnson and Associates. Quickly, both of Hendrick's teams began achieving success, and by 1988, the team was a 3-car organization. The driver combo was Jeffrey Bodine, Darrell Waltrip, and Ken Schrader. And though the team downsized in 1991 and 1992, in 93 they were back to a 3-car team, with rookie Jeff Gordon. Also in 1992, a new team joined the sport. NFL football coach and Super Bowl champion Joe Gibbs started the race team with his family. They hired Dale Jarrett in 1992 and began their goal to become a top-level Cup team. In 1992 the team was alright, but in 1993 they pulled off their first win, and they did it in style.
White flag and 1 lap to go. Earnhardt coming back on the outside. Bodine gets into it, Strickland gets into it. This is the finish.
Did we say 5 cars had a shot at it? Get ready, because it's coming to the wire. There's Jarrett in front.
Jarrett pulling back in front. Bodine comes down to the inside. Jeff Bodine, the 86 champion, trying to find some room.
Come on, Dale. Go, baby, go. All right, come on. I know he's got it to the floorboard. He can't do anymore. Come on, take her to the inside. Don't let him get on the inside of you coming around this turn. Here he comes, Earnhardt. It's the Dale and Dale show. It's become off of turn 4. You know who I'm pulling for. It's Dale Jarrett. Bring her to the inside, Dale. Don't let him get down there. He's going to make it. Dale Jarrett's going to win the Daytona 500. All right. Oh, look at Martha. Oh, dear. Oh, can you believe it?
After pulling off the upset, Jarrett did alright, and in 1994 again, they won. But in 1995, Jarrett left the team to join Robert Yates Racing in the vacant 28. They replaced him with Busch Series star and young Cup prodigy Bobby Labonte. This was his first opportunity with a very good team, and for 1995, they are ready for a good performance. Meanwhile, on the Hendrick side of things, Jeff Gordon has become a star, and new teammate Terry Labonte, who joined the organization in 1994, has also found a career revitalization. Gordon and Terry take 10 wins across the season, and Hendrick wins their first ever driver-owner title in 1995. On the Gibbs side of things, Bobby Labonte gets his first career win in the Coca-Cola 600, and gives the young Gibbs team its first season with multiple wins at 3. Between the two teams, they gather a staggering 13 of the 31 races run, winning about half the season with just 4 cars. In 1996, Terry Labonte wins the title for Hendrick, and again, they win another combined 13 races. In 1997, there's some recession. Gordon wins another 10, with Bobby and Terry only getting 1 apiece. But Gordon increases the streak of titles to 3. In 1998, they surpassed their previous best of 13 wins in a season, grabbing 16, 13 with Gordon, 2 with Bobby, and 1 with Terry. Every other notable stat decreases, but again, the title streak is now at 4. Moving to 1999, Gordon still gets 7 wins, but isn't nearly as competitive. Bobby, however, has his best season ever and grabs 4 wins. Joe Gibbs also expands for the first time to a 2-car team and picks up open wheel champ Tony Stewart. In his rookie year in the Cup Series, Tony grabs 3 wins, and Terry gets 1 more. Every other stat saw record highs between the teams, and in the turn of millennium, Gibbs grabs their first owner-driver title. Between the two teams, 5 titles have been won in the last 6 years, and in 2001, Gordon grabs his 4th title and 5th for Hendrick, making the streak now 6 and 7. Gibbs saw some regression in 01, but in 2002, Stewart wins the title, and now Hendrick is a 4-car team as they bring on young Jimmy Johnson in the new 48 car. In 2003, neither team wins the title, for only the 2nd time in 9 years. While the win number doesn't go up, a record number of top 5s and top 10s occur between the 6 teams. In 2004, they again do not win the title, but come oh so close with Gordon and Johnson in the first chase. In 2005, they again have their best season between the now 7-car juggernaut combo. Tony wins his 2nd title and 3rd for Joe Gibbs. Hamlin debuts in 2006, and once again the 7 teams have a record season. Between 36% of all top 5 finishes in 2006 were either Joe Gibbs or Rick Hendrick cars. And between them all, they combine for over 4,000 laps led. Johnson wins Hendrick's 6th title, and going into 2007, the two teams raised the bar even higher. 22 wins between the 7 teams, and over 5,000 laps led. New highs of 81 top 5s, 128 top 10s, and 14 poles. Johnson goes back-to-back with Hendrick for their 7th title. In 2008, Joe Gibbs moves to Toyota and signs a young Kyle Busch from Hendrick Motorsports. Together they put up their best season ever, and although Hendrick slides back a little bit, still Johnson wins the title and captures 3 straight. In 2009, they again win 22 races and lead a new high of 6,590 laps across the season, with Johnson winning 4 straight and the 9th for Hendrick. In 2010, the organizations win another 17 races and lead another 5,000 laps. Johnson wins his 5th in a row and 10th for Rick Hendrick. For 2011, they regress. None of the teams win the title for the first time in 7 years, and only win 10 times between the teams. Hendrick Motorsports makes the move to pick up Casey Kane in the 5 for 2012, and for the season, the win number increases back to 17. A new high of poles and top 10s is achieved between the 7 teams, and in 2013, Joe Gibbs picks up Matt Kenseth. Him and Johnson duel for the title, with Johnson inevitably getting his 6th and 11th overall for Hendrick. 2014 saw the two organizations get all 7 cars into the chase for the first time ever. And while the field was expanded to 16, they still made up almost half of the entire chase field. And in 2015, Joe Gibbs finally expands the organization to a 4-car juggernaut. The 19 car will have Carl Edwards in it. And now the 8-team Super Alliance reels off 23 victories, the most between the two organizations in a season ever. And moving into the 2016 season, some things start to get a little weird. At this time in the sport, the 4-car limit was putting a serious damper on Toyota's expansion. While Joe Gibbs was having incredible success, winning its first title with Kyle Busch in 2015, they needed more than just 4 cars. In comes Barney Visser and his Furniture Road team. Fresh off the underdog run of the century, Martin Truex Jr. has revitalized his career with this small Colorado team, and now the team has an offer irresistible to refuse. Become the second-in-line Toyota team to Joe Gibbs. This was all spurred on by the closing of Michael Waltrip Racing, which had fielded 2 to 3 Toyotas for years, but after drastic controversy, the team had no other option but to close its doors. So the 78 team now has Toyota affiliated with them, and basically became team cars with all those at Joe Gibbs. But does that count as the 9th car in this situation? The 5th Joe Gibbs car? You could make the argument this was a way to get around the 4-car limit by Gibbs, and still field the 5th car basically. But at the same time, the Colorado-based team was drastically separated from Gibbs in many ways, and only shared similar equipment. In 2016, if we count Truex as part of the conglomeration of power, then the win total is 21. If we don't though, it's all pretty average for the conglomeration. 2017 is when things start to get awkward in the Toyota side of things. On the Hendrick side of things, their competitiveness was slipping. The team was in the middle of a complete overhaul. Jeff Gordon had recently retired, Dale Jr. was retiring, and Casey was more likely leaving the team after the season as well. Combine all that with Jimmy Johnson heading into the twilight years of his career, things were rough. But on the Gibbs side of things, the wealth was easy to share. Kyle Busch had made back-to-back Championship 4 appearances, while Edwards had left the 19 team to retire. They were also coming off a Championship 4 appearance and have slated young star Daniel Suarez, fresh off his Xfinity title, to fill the spot. Matt Kenseth was coming into a contract year but still looked great after 2016, and Denny Hamlin was also running well for himself and his new crew chief in Mike Wheeler. But where the situation gets weird is with the 78 team. In 2017 the team was good, and I mean good. In one of the most dominant performances in a title of recent memory, Truex cruised to the championship, beating Gibbs driver Kyle Busch. On top of that, Furniture Row was also receiving funding for a second team, and Toyota tabbed their hotshot driver Eric Jones to drive it. While Suarez was good, Jones was better. In a second Furniture Row car, Eric Jones beat the 19 team and Daniel Suarez for Rookie of the Year honors. Furniture Row was doing good, very good, maybe too good. Within 365 days, with the team holding the trophy on the stage at Homestead and winning Rookie of the Year honors, Furniture Row would be closing its doors and ending operations. There are many thoughts and opinions on what happened with Furniture Row, and why within a year a promising two-car team was gone and dead, still in its height. Whatever your theory may be on the situation, many chalk it up to another casualty of the dominance of the Gibbs-Hendrick juggernaut. In 2018, Hendrick had quite a down year trying to get reorganized and experienced with its two young drivers. Joe Gibbs had a down year as well, with two of its teams, Eric Jones taking over for the leaving Matt Kenseth, and Denny Hamlin have a rough year as well. Daniel Suarez couldn't find his footing either and was let go after only 2 seasons for the veteran Martin Truex Jr., coming from the closing Furniture Row. And in 2019, the two teams had their best season yet. And for 2020, for how weird it was also a successful season. And this brings us now to 2021, the reason this video exists. Right now, these two teams are on pace to win 27 races in 2021 and account for almost 62% of all top 5 finishes this year. Up until Kurt Busch's win in Atlanta, these two teams had won 10 straight and still were only one Ross Chastain away from making it 11 in a row. And whether you think this dominance is good or bad, it's up to you. But right now, and maybe for this foreseeable future, the Empire reigns supreme.